This is the Louis T. Network.
In the lab room.
Welcome, you are in the lab room. I'm your host, Lou. Thank you for joining me. Here to talk about the Week 4 matchup between the Detroit Lions, who were hosting their divisional rivals in the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears. And look, this was a huge matchup for the Detroit Lions. Psyche-wise, you got to be able to beat the big boys in your division. Last year, this Lions team did not get it done within the division. They did not get it done at home either. When you win 4 games in a season, you're not getting it done at all. 4 or 5 wins isn't going to cut it in this league. And they weren't getting it done when it mattered the most within this NFC North division. And so this was a huge test. They had started out the season 2-1. This is a big game at home early in the season versus a divisional opponent, the best team in your division at this point. Record-wise, in the Chicago Bears, they're undefeated coming into this game at 3-0. You need to make a statement. At home, you're playing good football. They're playing good football. You need to be able to get it done at home. And they came out, and they started the game kind of slow. And the issue that I had with them early in this game is that you're settling for field goals. You can't afford to settle for field goals when you're looking to win football games in the National Football League. You get opportunities to put 7 on the board. You got to take them. Early on in this game, they kept settling for field goals from David Akers. And look, if you're going to eventually score points, which they did in this game, it's fine. Get points when you can. But you don't know how many points you're going to score as the course of the game is unfolding. You got to get touchdowns. They were settling for field goals early on, but credit to this defense, they weren't giving up points early on in this game. They did give up a long Matt Forte run for a touchdown to give the Bears an early 10-9 lead. And after that point, this Lions team stepped it up. They turned it up a notch, and they scored 21 unanswered points. And look, they really took it to the Bears during this stretch. And this was the difference in the game. That stretch where they scored 21 unanswered points was the difference in this football game. They separated themselves from the Chicago Bears. And that's where we find the momentous moment of the game. The Detroit Lions are up. They just got a touchdown. Reginald Bush was outstanding in this game. He was outstanding. But let's get to the momentous moment. We'll come back to Reginald in a second. Momentous moment. Lions take the lead from the Bears 16-10. They score a touchdown. Go ahead by 6. The very next play after the kickoff, Jay Cutler turns it over, throws an interception. It leads directly to another touchdown on the very next play for the Lions. They throw up a fade to Calvin Johnson. Touchdown. Look, you turn the football over in this league, you're going to lose. And this is why I look at this Chicago Bears team. If I can step away from the Lions for a second, this is why I look at the Bears football team. And there's always a but. Because this defense is really good. If Devin Hester gets it going, his special teams can be dynamic. But there's a but. And that but, for me, is Jay Cutler. And it's a double-edged sword when you're talking about Jay Cutler. And both ends of the knife are extremely sharp. That's why his last name is Cutler, because he can cut you deep. And opposing defenses know this guy can get it done. He's got a rifle for and right arm, and he can throw it down the field with the best of them. But when this guy is off and when he is making mistakes, that knife can be equally as detrimental to the Chicago Bears as it can be to opposing teams. And in this game, Jay Cutler was inflicting self-damaging wounds to this Bears football team. And he threw 3 interceptions on the day. That second one to me was the momentous moment. He throws a pick. It is picked off by Glover Quinn. Both safeties had phenomenal games. Louis Delmas had a couple of picks. Glover Quinn had this pick that's the momentous moment. Got it down to the 2-yard line. And the very next play, Megatron catches a fade. Heavens to Megatron! And just like that, the Chicago Bears are up 23-10 in a game that they were trailing 10-9 not even a minute and a half ago. In less than a minute, the Bears have surrendered 2 touchdowns, one because of Lions offense, the other because of Jay Cutler turning the football over. And so just like that, this game to me changed. 14 points in the span of a minute. Bears go from winning by 1 to trailing by 13. Lions tack on another touchdown. They take the lead 30-10. And at that point, the Bears were reeling. They were able to get a couple of field goals to try to edge their way back into the game, but Reginald Bush was outstanding. He makes a run in this game. He leaps over a defender, gets outside, takes off. He spun off another guy on another play, and he was just phenomenal, well over 100 yards. He was dominant in this game. And that's what he brings to the table for this Detroit Lions. He's the difference right now. And I talked about him in the offseason. I talked about him early in one of these other games. I want to say it was the first game of the season. Yes, it was against Minnesota. He's the X factor on this football team. He's the X factor. He's the difference between this team in 2013 and this team in 2012. They weren't scoring touchdowns in Detroit last season. They're scoring touchdowns now because Reggie Bush keeps you honest as a defense. You can't just key in on heavens to Megatron. If you do that, Reginald will get you. And if you start keying in on Reginald, heavens to Megatron will get you. And it's good to see Durham stepping up and other guys getting involved, Scheffler and things of that nature. Because of that injury to Nate Burleson, you're going to need other guys to step up, and they did that in this game. Good to see everyone getting involved offensively. This defense for the Lions created turnovers. They beat the Chicago Bears at their own game in this football game, did the Detroit Lions. They forced the turnovers. They were the ones helping their offense generate offense off of turnovers. And Ndamukong Suh stripping the football from Jay Cutler. How long did you have back there, huh? God damn it, Jay. You were just standing back there, and this is what Jay Cutler does. This is where this butt comes in. It's not bad enough you threw 3 interceptions on the day, 2 of them absolutely inexcusable, but you're holding on to the ball in the pocket. And look, I know your offensive line is better, but damn, they're not that good. He's holding on to the ball. There's no internal clock telling him, hey, I need to get rid of the football. Hey, I need to get rid of the football. Hey, I need to get rid of the football. Here comes Suh after 18 seconds, strips the football, sacks Cutler, ball's free. Nick Fairley scoops it, scores it. And that was the type of day it was for the Chicago Bears offense. That was the type of day it was for this Detroit Lions defense. Being opportunistic, forcing the issue, creating turnovers. They beat the Bears at their own game, did the Detroit Lions, and they get the win in this football game, 40-32. Give the Bears some credit for never giving up. They made this game tight, cut it to a 1-possession game, forced the Lions to have to recover an onside kick, but the Lions dominated this game. The score does not indicate the way that the Chicago Bears were dominated in this football game, and kudos to the Detroit Lions for taking care of business at home. They do it in convincing fashion, 40-32. Bears now come down to the Lions, and they are both tied at 3-1 in this division atop the NFC North. But Lions own the tiebreaker, so for a week, the Lions can call themselves first place owners in the NFC North if they own a 3-1 record and the tiebreaker currently over the Chicago Bears. Both of these teams share first place. And look, I didn't think the Lions would be this good. I knew Reggie Bush would add another element to this offense that they lacked a season ago. But this defense is playing good. I like Darius Slay out wide. I think he adds an element. Every time Louis Delmas plays and he's healthy, he makes a difference. If this guy can stay healthy, this Detroit Lions team could do some things on the defensive side of football. You saw a little bit of it in this game. Dangerous football team when they are healthy. Lions go to 3-1. Bears drop to 3-1. Big win for the Detroit Lions at home versus the Chicago Bears. So that's going to do it for me here in the Lab Room. I thank you for joining me. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here in the Lab Room. See you next time. Have a good one. Like the content? Want more? Sub up.
In the lab room.